Welcome back to my views and news. Yesterday I reported that Tigray forces had handed over long-range rockets and missiles to Ethiopian National Defense Force, and the arsenal, the weapons were taken from Tigray to awash. Now pictures are being shared in social media confirming this handover. Secondly, viewers, Zalambessa, a town which was under the control of Tigray forces before the start of this war, which is now under Eritrean army's control. Celebrations are underway in Zalambessa. At town square, tents have been set up, song, dance. What is happening there? Reportedly, Ethiopian National Defense Force soldiers are there too in Zalambessa. Thirdly, viewers, Alamata. Yesterday, I reported that Alamata residents were being mobilized for a protest due to be held on a Sunday. Yes, a protest was held in Alamata. How big was the demonstration? What did the protesters chant? What were their slogans? What were their banners about? Details for you. Firstly, viewers, it has now been visually confirmed that Tigray has handed over its long-range weapons to Ethiopian National Defense Force. Tigray forces were in possession of long-range rockets. We saw that because if you remember, in the second week of November 2020, when this war started, Tigray forces fired long-range rockets or missiles which hit Eritrean capital Asmara. And some of these rockets landed very close to Asmara airport. And Eritrea always uses that firing of missiles by Tigray as a pretext that because of this missile attack, Eritrea became involved in the war. Though we know that from day one, Eritrean military was involved in the war in support of Ethiopian National Defense Force. Now, pictures are being shared from social media showing that Tigray forces have handed over long-range weapons, rockets, and ballistic missiles to Ethiopian National Defense Force. Tigray handed over its tanks, artillery pieces, MLRS, towed artillery pieces, others, military trucks, etc. to Ethiopian National Defense Force a few months ago. Now, long-range rockets are also being handed over to the military. And Ethiopian military is is transporting these rockets to awash. Yesterday, we got verbal evidence, now a visual confirmation. We have some pictures for you showing these long-range rockets on their way from Tigray to awash reported. You can see the pictures. It means that Tigray has no heavy weapons now. Tanks, artillery pieces, MLRS, rockets, and others, some air defense systems like short-range air defense systems, anti-tank, guided rockets too, all have been handed over by Tigray forces to Ethiopian National Defense Force reportedly. Secondly, viewers, Zalambessa town, which was part of Tigray before the start of this war, situated to the north of Adigrat. Zalambessa is under the control of Eritrean military. Eritrean military withdrew from most towns and cities of Tigray after Pretoria deal, but it is in control of areas on border, Eritrea-Tigray border. And some of these places are contested, though Eritrea claims that the places were given to Eritrea by International Boundary Commission, ruling of which was not respected by Ethiopian government 2 decades ago. Like Badme, Badme was granted to Eritrea by the Boundary Commission. But Tigray remained in control of Badme till the war. Then 2 years ago, when the war started, Eritrean military took control of Badme. But some other areas are also under Eritrean control, which are being claimed by Tigray government. Eritrean military is in Zalambessa, and in Zalambessa, it is enjoying, having fun, organizing some celebratory events. On Saturday, hundreds of Eritrean soldiers entered Zalambessa from Eritrea. And at a square in Zalambessa city, tents were set up. And then song, dance, eating went on for hours. Songs were sung in praise of Eritrean military. Songs were sung to ridicule Tigray leadership, Tigray President Debretsion, and Tigray army. Interesting thing is that some sources are reporting that Ethiopian National Defense Force soldiers were part of this celebration too. They were there in Zalambessa at this program, singing, dancing, eating with Eritrean soldiers in Zalambessa. Now, point is that I have been saying that main border issues between Tigray and Eritrea are unresolved. Ethiopian National Defense Force should take control of border areas. It should decide the issues once and for all, because it is obviously in contact with the Eritrean government. Both have been jointly fighting against Tigray forces. The areas which are being claimed by Tigray are the ones where Eritrean and Ethiopian soldiers are having fun. It means ENDF does not want to resolve border issue between Tigray and Eritrea, between Ethiopia and Eritrea. Obviously, it will not be a good message from ENDF for Tigrayans. Pretoria deal is being implemented. It's not that the deal has been fully implemented. Ethiopian National Defense Force will have to secure Ethiopian borders. It will have to tell Tigrayans where is ENDF deployed, where does ENDF deployment end, where does Eritrean military's deployment start, where does Tigray's border end. Tigray cannot talk to Eritrea. Tigray is not on speaking terms with Eritrea. Both are at the loggerheads. But ENDF is having fun with Eritrean soldiers drinking, eating, singing in Zalambessa. Obviously not a good message for Tigrayans. ENDF will have to play its part in resolving the border issue. Otherwise, the friendly relations, resumption of friendly relation between Tigray and ENDF will be affected if we keep on seeing such events. And Eritrea and Tigray will have to sit at the table as well to resolve the border issues. Tigray claims Zalambessa is Tigray's part. Badme too, and parts of Europe too, which are under the control of Eritrean military. How will this border issue be resolved? Obviously, there will be some sort of dialogue. No dialogue between Tigray and Eritrea so far. Lastly, viewers, Alamata, southern Tigray, Raya zone. Both Tigray and Amhara zones have their claims to Raya, southern Tigray. This area was part of Tigray before the start of war. When the war erupted in November 2020, Amhara forces, ENDF, took control of southern Tigray. And in June 2021, when the first phase of the war came to a close, southern Tigray was under the control of Amhara forces. In July 2021, Tigray forces launched a counteroffensive. They took back Raya. They could not take back Volkayt. And then we saw start of third offensive in August last year when Amhara forces ENDF again retook Raya. And since August, September last year, Raya, Alamata, Koram have been under the control of Amhara forces. But Amharas living in Raya, Amhara region-based groups, militias, they fear that PM Abiy's government is going to hand over Raya to Tigray. That is why we are seeing tensions between Amhara forces and Ethiopian National Defense Force in some parts of Volkayt and Raya. And since yesterday, messages were being shared for a massive demonstration in Alamata in support of Alamata being part of the Amhara region. A protest was held in Alamata today. People participated. They chanted, "We are Amharas. Raya is Amhara." Definitely, this is a message from Amhara region to federal government. Amhara region obviously wants Raya and Volkayt to be part of Amhara. Federal government has its own plans. No one knows what federal government is up to. But since today's demonstration in Alamata was not blocked by Amhara government allowed this Raya zone is under Amhara control. The mayor appointed there is obviously backed by Amhara region. Since today's protest was not blocked by Amhara region, it means Amhara region is sending a message to PM Abiy, to Ethiopian federal government, that Raya is part of Amhara region. And Ethiopian government, PM Abiy, must not think about handing over Raya, southern Tigray, Alamata, Koram to the TPLF, to Tigray regional government. We have a small clip for you from today's demonstration which happened in Alamata. Watch the clip. Thank you for watching.